How's it going, everyone? Want to cover a couple of things real quickly here. First of all, a huge free open beta will be kicking off very soon. Kind of surprised they are making this mostly an open beta. There's going to be early access for those of you that decide to pre-order Diablo 4, but there will be an open beta period as well. We'll talk about that. And unfortunately, Returnal not doing all too well on PC thus far. We'll talk that at the end of this video because that's actually a game I thought that was going to surprise some people with how well it would do on PC, but I guess, it was me being a little bit too much optimistic, which I usually try not to do. I'm usually more on the pessimistic side, but nonetheless, we'll talk that in a little bit. But first of all, Diablo 4 open beta test is set for March 24th until the 26th. Early access will be kicking off on March 17th to the 19th, so there's two beta periods, 17 to the 19th and then 24 to 26. 24 to 26 open for everybody. Early access is open for those that do decide to pre-order the game. The open beta test will feature a significant look at the game according to Diablo 4 director, including both the prologue and the first act set in the Fractured Peaks zone. Characters can level up to level 25 and all main quests and side quests in that area are available. So that's going to be a sizable amount of content for you to delve into for early access players. Progress in the beta will transfer between the two beta weekend, so you'll have more time to do all of the content. Diablo 4 is due out on PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, and PC on June the 6th. This is going to be a Battle.net game, so don't get too excited if you're thinking that this is somehow going to drop on Steam or something like that. Not the case yet, given that Activision and, everything's still in the works as far as that's concerned. Diablo isn't a franchise that I get super into, but I did get pretty into Diablo 3, and I played the hell out of that for a while, and Reaper of Souls, of course. But, it's not something that I go back to constantly, but I know a lot of people that'll jump into Diablo 4 and they're just going to sink weekend after weekend of free time into this game, which more power to you if that's the case. We'll see how the game turns out. Based on what I've seen thus far, I am not the person to go to, give a gauge on how a Diablo game is shaping up, but I think it looks pretty alright, so, I think it'll be something that people will get into. We'll see how it turns out. I know, Blizzard isn't everybody's favorite company these days, and for all the right reasons, to say the least, but, maybe this will be something that a lot of people do get into, and the fact is, the beta test, again, 24 to 26, that's going to be free for everybody, so you don't even have to pre-order the game and check that out, and it's going to be a sizable amount of content as well, so be on the lookout for that. Moving on from that, I do want to talk a little bit about Returnal on PC. Played a lot of it, and my experience with it has been pretty good outside of a couple stutters here and there. Look, as far as stuttering on PC goes, we've kind of ran the gamut, and, if Callisto Protocol is, the top tier of stuttering, Returnal is far away from that. I hate to keep throwing shade to Callisto Protocol for that stuttering issue, especially because they did remedy that pretty quickly, but man, that initial gameplay, and I'm sure you guys have seen the recording, was just absolutely appalling. Nonetheless, Returnal, for the most part, my experience has been rather good. I'm not doing ray tracing. I'm not doing any of that. I do have a 3080 and it auto set the game to the Epic preset. So yeah, the game visually looks really great. Unfortunately, commercially, it seems to not be doing gangbuster numbers currently. I should say it so far achieved under 7,000 concurrent players on Steam during its first weekend, which is a little bit of a disappointing number to say the least. Now, it did do better than Sackboy: A Big Adventure, which hit 610 players at its peak, but Sackboy, I don't think anybody was expecting that game to do well. Uncharted: The Legacy of Thieves Collection was the other one that was a little bit of a disappointment. That had 10,851 players as its peak, as noted on VGC. To give you guys some comparison points, Returnal at 7K, you're talking God of War peaked at 74,000 concurrent player, Marvel Spider-Man at 66,000, Horizon Zero Dawn at 56,000, and Days Gone at just about 28,000. So, Days Gone and Returnal, I would put them, right around the same range as far as how marquee of a PC, or of a PlayStation exclusive it is. Both, B-tier exclusives. Days Gone especially, that game did not get the best critical reception in the world, but even that hit 28,000 players. I'll give you a couple of reasons why that is. Days Gone is still inherently that Sony style of experience of being a big budget single player, open world game. Yeah, they'll do non-open world games, but that single player big budget open world game, it's not as good as a lot of their other single player open world games, but it still has that Sony flavor to it, so to speak. And the PC port was really good, and I feel like when Days Gone came out, that luster of PlayStation games being on PC was still there. At this point, that's not really gonna carry you. Returnal is not going to get carried on the fact of, oh, it's a PlayStation game on PC. No, now it's going to be like, is the game big enough to warrant enough players playing it? While Returnal wasn't huge on PlayStation, I just thought PC players would gravitate it towards a little bit more, since I thought PC players would vibe with this challenging, action-oriented experience. Very good visuals. You know, technically super impressive, but yeah, I guess I was wrong about that. Look, I ain't right about everything, and I'm wrong about a lot of things, and this is one where I'll be completely honest, I was completely wrong about my expectations on Returnal resonating a lot more on PC than it did. It will really be interesting to see how Last of Us 1 does. Last of Us Part 1. I foresee that doing really well for a couple of reasons. First of all, Uncharted: The Legacy of Thieves Collection, yes, that was a Naughty Dog title, and Naughty Dog is revered as a studio to an extent, but we talked about it over and over again. Like, ain't nobody trying to jump right into Uncharted 4. They want to play the first 3 games, so you kind of fired yourself. You know, you shot yourself in the foot by releasing Legacy of Thieves without the Nathan Drake collection, and I know Naughty Dog outlined, hey, like, we thought those games were dated, and we want to just do Legacy of Thieves collection. Just not a good idea. I think if you just did the Nathan Drake collection, you could have charged $60 for it. I literally think people would have bought it for $60 because it's Uncharted 1, 2, and 3. People would have looked at it as like, hey, 20 bucks a pop, that's not that bad. And I literally think people would have bought it, and it would have done better than what the Legacy of Thieves collection did. Maybe I'm wrong about that as well, but I really do believe a lot of people didn't buy that because they didn't play the other 3 titles, and no one's trying to jump into Uncharted 4 without playing the other 3. So Last of Us, the difference is, first of all, you're riding the momentum of the television show. Second of all, it is Last of Us Part 1. Third of all, I think Last of Us is a more iconic game at this point than the Uncharted games are. I feel like Uncharted at this point, there was a time where, like, Uncharted 2 era, I feel like that was like Uncharted's peak in terms of it being recognized as like one of the best games you could play. I feel like Uncharted, you know, has really fell to the wayside, and that's probably because it hasn't been in the news cycle that much. Last of Us has kind of stayed within that news cycle because you got Last of Us 1 in 2013, then remastered in 2014, then you got Last of Us Part 2, then you got Part 1 on PS5, then you got the HBO show, so it's had this consistent stream where Uncharted kind of went MIA for a while, and then you're dropping, you know, Legacy of Thieves Collection, which was overpriced on PlayStation 5 to begin with, and, you know, $50 for games that are this old. You could make the same argument for Last of Us Part 1, let's not get it twisted, but I just feel like Last of Us has a lot of momentum right now, and that's going to make that do very well. But Returnal, again, super surprised about this one, not doing well, but, you know, that was kind of a hot take on my part of thinking that this game was going to do really well on PC, so, you know, it is what it is. I will say this, Last of Us, I don't think is going to beat God of War, and I don't think it's going to beat Spider-Man. I think it'll be right around Horizon Zero Dawn tier, so we'll see come next month where it'll be, because, you know, God of War, I think still, God of War is such a huge IP, and I just feel like that was a kind of a shocker when that dropped on PC, like, kind of out of nowhere. Spider-Man is Spider-Man. Last of Us is huge, but I think Spider-Man and God of War are going to be slightly edging that one out. God of War was ahead of Spider-Man by a decent bit, like 10%, and, Last of Us, I could easily see it, you know, falling right around that 58 to 62,000 concurrent players as its peak, but we'll see how that turns out. That'll do it for me. Again, guys, Diablo 4 getting an open beta come next month, March 17th to the 19th for those that pre-order, March 24th to the 26th for early access, and Returnal, unfortunately, not doing that well on PC. I mean, it's still probably acceptable numbers. Let's not get it twisted. Like, the investment that it requires to get these games on PC, probably not that ridiculously high, and the fact is, you're just going to make residual revenue for a long time, and a lot of people are probably just waiting until the game drops to $30 to pick it up, and more power to you. I think that's a great idea to do that. That'll do it for me. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.